Very nice. All right. Are we all ready now? Take a little sip of my sparkling water. Pellegrino. I just like sparkling water. I like both things, but it's like gotta have a little bit of fizz. Everything. So, all right, everybody. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. It is January what? What's the January today?
13th.
13th. Monday the 13th. All right. I'm really not superstitious at all. That's the funny part. And I actually, yeah, I know a lot of athletes and other people are superstitious. I'm not. I believe that superstition takes most of the control out of your destiny that way. So that's why I'm more of a person that says, grab it by the horns. Grab the bull by the horns. Anyway, so today, what I want to do is talk about something that we just launched. And I'm so excited. And let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll see if I can have it on our store and everything. Yeah. So what I want to do, guys, is this. I want to talk about something that I'm so excited about. Our Wellness Way tallow balm and stuff. So jacked up about it and stuff. It's kind of funny. Nice thing about beef tallow, not only is it a good cooking agent, it also is very good when it comes to your skin. And so it's not a joke. I put it on my skin, the fatty acid profile. There's also saturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats in it. Mainly actually saturated fats within beef tallow and stuff. So I said you can go to the Wellness Way store and get it, but not a joke, guys. It's so awesome. So I said I used it a bunch and stuff like that. This one, and just need a little bit. And people ask me why I have such good skin. I do. I'm a 50-year-old guy with, you know, what's that skin care company? Not Maybelline, or what is it? What's that? No, it's just something in general that is on TV all the time. What's one of the crappy ones full of chemicals and stuff? There's a lot of them. L'Oreal, that's right. This is our. Okay. Anyways, no, but it's kind of cool because people ask me, and actually, no joke, we have a deodorant coming out. We have a bunch of our Wellness Way brand stuff coming out. We have a makeup line that we're working on right now, or a fully organic, great makeup line. And see, the Wellness Way has not only done amazing things as far as healthcare, more offices, also just to let you know, Dr. Kelsey just opened up down in Brentwood, Nashville. You understand? So it's a suburb of Nashville. So definitely go visit Dr. Kelsey. She just opened up last week. Dr. Destiny and Dr. Sean, who I miss dearly, they'll be opening up in New Jersey here pretty quickly. We're just negotiating the lease and everything. So yeah, guys, there's business stuff, there's clinical stuff, there's just to let you guys know, I want to thank James and Zach. Our Neo Innovation software company is just doing so well. I'm excited. I'm becoming a tech guy too. It's kind of cool. But instead of like being a tech investor, I'm actually started a tech company that way, and it's going to be pretty awesome, the stuff that we're doing. Now, obviously, everybody knows that my main focus is the Wellness Way, and I absolutely love it. So today is a Q&A. If you guys have a Q&A, and just let you know, I literally, before I came in here, I was on the phone with somebody, and I answered a question of somebody. And actually, I'm going to use this question. This woman's name is Becky. And now, once again, I won't use her last name because she emailed me. But Becky sent me an email. Becky, I'm going to directly respond to your email, because here's a wonderful young lady who actually is going through some struggles, and she even talked about this. She's like, she was on my live, and she went to a weight loss doctor for a couple of years now, and have tried many medications, but have had issues with side effects. I have lost about 30 pounds. Good job, great job, Becky. And but she expected more considering what was going on, which I would have too. My doctor has brought up the gastric surgery. Please do not do that, okay? There's so many negative complications from it. A couple times, but I don't want to do that, thank God. And if I'm not hungry now, I can't imagine what it would be like if she went that way. She kind of has an office job. Once again, I want to say the way she works. She's in a league. She does certain things. And then she goes, I know I eat too many carbs, but I hate vegetables, okay? Totally, and Becky, I mean, it's very sincere. I'm the same way you are. I just eat vegetables because I know how cruciferous are so good for you. But there are ways to actually get in cruciferous in your diet without eating them. For example, in the form of a smoothie. Okay? Because you can put wonderful high vitamin C, fiber-based fruits in there and cover up the nastiness of spinach. And because even if you just got spinach, it'd be great. Be very good. Now, here's what happened. She wrote, in a typical day, her breakfast is a protein shake, and half of a Belvetta breakfast biscuits. I don't even know what that is. But right there, I'd cut that biscuit out and add some meat. Coffee with creamer, and then what happens is handful of mixed nuts and string cheese, corn chips and things like that. Now what happens is this, it's gonna sound funny, even though your calorie is a little bit low, still too much fat, and it's feeling like, guys, fat will deposit within fat. And even though the string cheese could be totally organic, there's things I'd change on here, and I'd really focus on some proteins. But Becky, I'm gonna get back to you on your message with some detail, but thank you for sending such a intimate, such a, vulnerable email, because I take it very seriously. I think that you sharing that with me, I will guide you and give you some very good advice on what to do, and then hopefully we can keep you out of bariatric surgery and the gastric surgery, because the major complications that come from that are significant. Now, if you or anybody else needs a simple question asked, remember, you can't be under the care of one of my doctors, because my doctors actually know what they're doing. Go ask them. You can email me at pflynn@thewellnessway.com, pflynn@thewellnessway.com, and I will definitely try to guide you in the right direction. All right, Hunter, Trinity, Christy, Tom. All right, what we got for today, guys?
Hi.
Hi.
Advice on a yeast infection and UTI in a 3-year-old that won't go away.
Yeast infection and a UTI. All right, so here's what happens. Obviously, keep a lot of good proteins, a lot of good fiber in that diet that way, so they have plenty of calories, some good fats. But here's what happens. I would look at oregano oil. And the reason why it doesn't, which is going to be really good because it's going to, help with creating and destroying the biofilm to allow yeast. Keep sugar away. Make sure that you give them a little bit of apple cider vinegar before each meal. I know it might be a little difficult because you might have to get some capsules and put it in a capsule because you want to acidify the stomach. You also want to take some CY complex. There is a yeast called S. boulardii that is very good at combating and actually killing yeast that way. So I would definitely, and also give them megabiotic. I would also take some coconut oil because lauric acid is really good at, and which give them some calories too, really good at combating yeast. I'd also have them apply it on vaginally and also apple cider vinegar on vaginally. And then what I would do is this, make sure they drink a lot. They drink a lot. Yes, they're gonna be peeing a lot, but they should drink a lot. And then what you can do is put a little bit of uvi ursi in there and a little bit of D-mannose.
What is the best way to build adrenals?
What's the best way to build adrenals is actually, first of all, try to reduce the stress on your body as much as possible. And then support your adrenals. Ashwagandha is #1 by far. A lot of research on ashwagandha. I just covered on a show this past week and how it even affects testosterone. It's why, once again, you need to make sure that you're supporting your body with certain nutrients. The adrenals use a lot of vitamin C, Now get this, okay, Christy and Trinity, I'm sad to say this, but I'm gonna give my second favorite vitamin C-based food, even though I don't want to. Do you know why I don't want to? Because it's much more tasty than my first one, but my first one has so many other health benefits that people will move away from the first one. Okay, so the best vitamin C-based food in the world is still sauerkraut. Dominant. And your adrenals need a lot of vitamin C. Do you know that if you eat an adrenal gland, it's full of vitamin C? They use a lot of it. Now, does anyone want to take a guess what the second highest food that has vitamin C is, and everybody loves it? Most people do. Kiwi. And one thing properly good about kiwi is very good at combating iron, high iron. So that's really good for men because men sometimes have way too much iron and that can oxidize and cause damage and cause rust and corrosion, just like iron happens that way. So I believe that kiwi should be part of a person's diet on a regular basis. So therefore, add that vitamin C for the adrenals. Ashwagandha, I would take an adrenal glandular. I would also, if I'm looking to know that my cortisol would be low, I'd do some licorice, but if it's not low, don't do licorice. And then I would support it with Romania, which is another wonderful medicinal herb. All right.
If you take beef organs, would you still need to supplement D3, K2, especially during winter?
Absolutely. Two totally different things. There's not enough beef organ out there to actually, and that's why this is just me, and I love my carnivore friends. I love them. Actually, if I'm going to choose a diet to start on for some time to eliminate immune reactions, I would go totally carnivore for at least a couple weeks. But there's things I believe they're missing. And I know there's a lot of people that argue that. I'm like going, ugh. And vitamin D being one of them. Vitamin D, and therefore that's why I do like cod livers, and which is more carnivore, but the idea is this. You still need to supplement with it that way. Vitamin D3, there's not, I actually read some pretty good research to where they were, and I don't even want to say the amount because some people misquote me on this, but they were talking such high levels of vitamin D per day on certain conditions that most doctors would freak out if you told them. It's like if you tell somebody to take 25 micrograms or it's going to be 25 milligrams of iodine, people are freaking out because the RDAs are 150 micrograms. But you'd be surprised what 25 milligrams for thyroid and other health can do, especially breast tissue and estrogen dominance and stuff. But the idea is this: vitamin D is so important to take. Right now, I walk around with vitamin D and hand it out to the people of the company. You know why? Because it's -4 degrees today. So therefore, it's chilly, it's cold. So we don't get the sun. I walked outside. I was doing some building real estate things with Uriah, and I walked outside. I'm like, damn, I want to get back inside as quickly as possible. It's 4 below. Okay?
It's supposed to be real feel -12 at the lowest.
Yes, by tonight it's supposed to be -12 or so. But that's one thing we like about Wisconsin. And if we get a lot of snow right now, it'd be kind of nice. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Then you go outside and you deal with the cold. But going outside with no snow, yeah.
If my T3 is low, will cholesterol elevate?
No, because there is no cholesterol in T3. There's no cholesterol in T4. Those are more amino acid-based hormones, and they don't have a cholesterol component to it. Now, if you have damage that led to, if you have systemic damage and inflammation that led to your T3 levels being low, like in the intestinal tract or in the GI or in the kidney, intestinal tract, liver, or kidney, that could make your cholesterol go up. So it's just a correlation of the relationship. But you gotta remember, when you look at T3, T4, those are amino acid-based hormones. They don't have any background as a steroid hormone.
What would be the best thing for osteoporosis? T-score is getting worse, but I don't want to go on big pharma meds.
Yeah, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to osteoporosis because, number one, estrogen levels have to be decent. But then what they do is they over-exemplify calcium. But really, here's what happens. K2 and magnesium. K2 and magnesium. Let me say it again. K2 and magnesium. Can I say it one more time? K2 and magnesium. Those will help get calcium where it belongs. That's why if you notice, magnesium and calcium synergistically, they even sell them supplementation-wise, work together. I would actually, but remember, K2, if you look at it, vitamin D helps the absorption. When you have vitamin D in your intestinal tract, like D3, it really helps the absorption of calcium. But you need K2 to where it belongs, and then magnesium. There's several forms of magnesium I do like, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're going to go intestinal tract, I'm going citrate. If I'm going brain, I'm going glycinate and threonate. There's many different forms, and therefore I'd just be pounding down the amount of citrate and glycinate and K2 to really help with osteoporosis. But also got to make sure that your estrogens are doing decent too.
How to get rid of cysts on ovaries?
You got to find out what hormone's dominant, and they're usually androgens. Dr. Adams sent me I got them right here, sent me some labs of a woman that was androgen dominant. She was high in testosterone, free testosterone, androstenedione, and she hasn't had a period actually, and she had like 2 periods the last 2 years, and she wants to get fertile, and she's a young lady. And her estrogen was at 34, which, for example, is extremely low for a cyclic woman, even though she's not really cyclic because she's actually haven't menstruated that much in the last 2 years. But she's young, so she should have all these things going on. Now, here's the point. Androgen dominance, you have to start looking there because without reversing it, there's nothing you're going to do at all. You got to get your hormones back to normal, and then support your liver to constantly be removing bad things from your body.
Why am I still low on vitamin D when I take supplements?
Because you're not taking enough. You know what I'm saying? Not taking enough. There's a high demand, and I personally believe that people don't take enough vitamin D. You think I'm joking? I literally toss it at my wife and my girls all the time, like, take this mate. And so it's like, and they're like, that much? I'm like, yes, and stuff like that. And they're doing extremely well health-wise that way. I believe that the values for vitamin D are way down, because when people just take D3, they're worried about hypercalcemia, which I understand. But when you have a significant amount of K2 and magnesium in your system, vitamin D, does its job very quickly.
Hello, Dr. Flynn.
Hello.
What do you think about artificial sweeteners?
What do I think about artificial sweeteners? It depends on the context. I will tell you this. This is going to surprise some people. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of them. But I understand. Let's do this. Food is by far the most emotional thing that we do. Dominant. You know what I'm saying? And it is. No matter what you're going through, food seems a stress reliever. It brings you a lot of joy. It can change your biochemistry and your mood very quickly that way. So let's say you're obese, okay? And it's very difficult to stay away from food. It is. And I have empathy for those people because it's addictive. So therefore, if they got off of highly processed sugar and use artificial sweeteners for a short time to drop their BMI and lose a lot of weight, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. Now, there are neurological side effects that they do know, and irritation and stuff like that can come from it. So therefore, I'd just be conscious of those things. But then as you lost weight, I would say move more towards, but see, I don't even think that we really need to look at artificial sweeteners when there are good alternative sweeteners. Now, they still call those artificial because xylitol and allulose, they're processed. They would call them more artificial, even though they're really not. They're more of alternative sweeteners, and xylitol and stevia and stuff like that. And but just understand, you can react to anything. People say, well, I react to stevia. Okay, then use xylitol. Well, I like the xylitol, then use allulose. And I react, what I'm saying? It's like nobody's the same. So if people are using artificial sweeteners to really drop weight, I think there's a benefit. But there's just some neurological irritation and a little bit of GI irritation. But you get GI irritation from xylitol. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would still take the GI irritation over with xylitol than I would with an artificial sweetener. But it's what you want to accomplish. The more weight you lose, the better it is and stuff. So it just depends on the situation. If I had a skinny person that's just addicted to sugar and wants to go out for sweeteners, I'm like, let's go more alternative sweeteners, because you could be affected more neurologically or a little bit of GI issues going on there. Okay?
What is the best thing to do for babies with eczema?
Okay, always remember this. There can either be a vitamin D or vitamin A deficiency that leads to eczema, or their immune system was triggered by something that your doctor did on 1 day of life and 3 months of life and 6 months of life and 1 year of life. And I'll leave that to you guys, just because there is one platform that hopefully is, I'm hoping for the ban. I am, and stuff on the 19th. That's just me and stuff of that, because I think they're the worst platform out there right now as far as like censoring people. It's not even, if they weren't censoring people, I'd be a fan of them. But the idea is this, is you trigger the immune system somehow. Now, could there be over, like this child that had constant UTIs, could that immune factor trigger skin issues? Absolutely. Skin issues are immune issues, or they're vitamin D or vitamin A deficiencies. Okay?
Are there any supplements that nursing moms should take or stay away from?
Of course there are. I think that, you think of it this way, foods and supplements, you just have to understand they're going to pass to the baby, which I'm a big fan of. I am. Chrissy breastfed all 4 girls. There was things I made sure that she had in her diet and supplementation on a regular basis. I believe that most people don't get enough potassium, number 1, magnesium, number 2. So I want to see people do that. I want to see women take cod liver oil. Everything in this way, if there's a standard that I want people to take, it would be cod liver oil would always be number 1 by far. Now, yes, vitamin D, but that's something that we have to take because we can get that from the sun. But most people don't have the sun year round like we want to. And do you understand that I have offices in southern states like crazy, and you do their labs and they're vitamin D deficient even though they have sun year round? That drives me nuts, man. If I had the ocean and sun and stuff like that, there's people in Hawaii that we take care of, that we have an office out there that are actually vitamin D deficient. I'm like going, you have the sun, you have the best aspect, you have the best beaches, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I would say, can I tell you a funny story? So going to Hawaii for 20 some years and really spent a lot there the last 10 years. they have just some wonderful food things, some wonderful, smoothie huts and local places and stuff like that. And I was blown away one time that decided actually I lost my cord and decided to, I apologize that a friend of mine lost his cord, but he's no longer a friend. Just to let you know, that's why I won't say his name. And so I won't give him the credit. But anyways, but the idea is this. So we drove him over to Verizon to grab a cord. But before that day, we went to one of the local smoothie shops, and it had dragon fruit smoothie, and it was fantastic. Got it, went over to Dr. Katie's office, hung out, drank my smoothie. It was amazing. And then we drove over to a Verizon store. And Durham, when I pulled up the hut at smoothie, it was dead. No one was there. We're like, this place is a hidden gem. And it was in public. You could see it easy. But then all of a sudden, we went to the Verizon store. Guess what was right next door? Jamba Juice. Do you understand? They had to ship all that stuff in. Wasn't local. Highly processed. Artificial sweeteners, all stuff of that. And the place was packed by all the Hawaiians. I'm like, you've lost your mind. You got all the freshest stuff in the world, and you're going to Jamba Juice, okay? Now the Jamba Juice fans are going to hate me right now, but okay. Anyways, that being said, talk about vitamin D in Hawaii, talk about all these things. There are things that you want to take that you just know you're not going to get enough in your food. That's understandably. That's why if you ever notice, and there's certain electrolytes you need on a regular basis. Salt being one of them. That's why I believe people don't eat enough salt. But on the flip side, you got to make sure the potassium balances out. So you need potassium on there. I think potassium is number one and magnesium number two of the two top minerals that people are missing that I believe they should take during pregnancy and breastfeeding and all things.
Is there a correlation between magnesium and vitamin D deficiency and developing calcium kidney stones?
Absolutely there is. Absolutely. But it's more the fact that you don't have enough magnesium in K2 of why you're going to develop that kidney stone, because vitamin D will mobilize calcium through the body. And that's why when they just took vitamin D3, when it became popular in the end of the 90s, in the early 2000s, there was a lot of people getting kidney stones. There really was and stuff. And believe it or not, mobilizing that much calcium could even cause a little more plaquing in the heart. So they realized, oh my goodness, we got to put it with K2. And then they actually had a good balance of it that way. So, yep. So, and then what people realize, you really need magnesium to activate vitamin D. And that's why I really think the fact that people just need to eat enough magnesium. And does anybody know the best overall general source for magnesium comes from? Greens. Do you understand? And most people don't eat enough greens. So therefore, that's why I believe you need to supplement with it that way.
How do I treat reactivated Epstein-Barr virus? I've been suffering for almost 2 years.
Yeah. I had this conversation with my media team this morning. If you look at Epstein-Barr, everybody will get it, and they'll get it at a young age. And if you take any virus, okay, let me ask you a question. If you look at it this way, everybody by nature is going to get chickenpox. They should, because it's a virus that not only challenges your immune system but helps develop it. Will you suffer for a couple weeks with bumps and itchiness and stuff like this? And yes, and here's what the fear mongers do when it comes to chickenpox. Gotta be careful, because you can get it in your eye and you go blind, and they start fear mongering because they talk about the exceptions, not the rule. Or they'll take somebody from a third world country where they take a poop down the river, and then someone drinks out of it down the road and get dysentery and all the bad things going on. And here's the point. If you got chickenpox when you were young, do you know that you now are susceptible to shingles? Okay? You are. But you have to do what? First, you have to have some compromised immune response. And usually it's done by mental stress. And then, of course, the chickenpox virus, it lives and actually connects inside your nervous system. That's why, if you notice, it doesn't cross sides, it's usually on one side or the other that way. And then when it breaks out, it's painful as can be, because it's actually nerve endings. But the idea is this. So let's go back to Epstein-Barr. Everybody's going to get it. I watch all these people, and I will say, her name's Shannon. She used to be with the Wellness Way. And I know what she's doing. She's just trying to build a business. But she's like, when I took care of my Epstein-Barr, well, your husband's kind of a douchebag. He doesn't really work. You're stressed out all the time because you actually, and this is not wonderful Shannon Bundy out in Colorado. Shannon Bundy's awesome. Okay, it's a different Shannon. But the idea is this. And then you go on her TikTok page and watch, like, Epstein-Barr, Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr is like any other virus. You're immunocompromised, it will hurt your body. But Epstein-Barr did not cause your thyroid problem. Epstein-Barr has probably been in you since you were a baby. If you're immunocompromised, every virus will do it. But see what they do, it's like this. They want to so hyper-focus on, you know something, everything's a parasite. Everything is the reason why all you guys are so ugly and look so old is because you're NAD deficient. Do you understand? I'm like, I just sit there and go, there's no one major factor. It's like, oh my goodness, I laugh. Back to the Epstein-Barr. And so it's like everything's Epstein-Barr, Epstein-Barr. I finally figured out, and I did it, my whole life changed. Okay, but what did you do? Because there's no, antiviral herb that you're going to stop Epstein-Barr from spreading if you're immune compromised. There's no, that's what I kind of laugh about that way. That's like when you talk about COVID, talk about any virus. You're immunocompromised, be scared of every virus. You understand? Be scared of every virus. Here, watch this, ladies. If you have type 2 herpes, vaginal herpes, if your immune system is compromised, you have a breakout. If it's not, you don't. What's the key? Yeah, where your immune system regulates the stuff away. So anybody that's telling you, it's like this. It's like when I see anti-candida diets. I'm like, anti-candida. Candida is a normal flora. If it overgrows, it's irritated. If it's deficient, you lose digestive processes that you need. So therefore, that's like Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr is a normal virus that lives in our body. Once again, if you're immunocompromised, it's going to do just like shingles, and it's going to replicate, and and you're going to have some negative aspects that come from it. And then you jump on a lab and like, oh my goodness, I have Epstein-Barr. I'm like, you've always had it. You're just immunocompromised. So, yep. I know it's a long answer, but I love the stories of it that way.
Day 13 of no sugar.
Wait, that? Day 13 of no sugar.
And I just developed a full body rash.
Yep.
Could this be a detox symptom?
Could it be a detox symptom? Sure, it could. You could be metabolizing, pushing out glycogen. Here's what happens. If you lost a little bit of weight, probably. And the reason why is this. The minute that you deplete your glycogen and you start to get into other sugar, your body will start to break down triglycerides and fats for energy. And therefore, what happens is this. Do you understand? Fat can store a lot of toxins. It really can. And then it has to recirculate. And therefore, once again, it can irritate your immune system, irritate your skin. And because if the only thing you changed was just started no sugar, you bet your butt it could be.
I'm swelling or retaining water on keto.
Yep.
What can I take?
I would take dandelion root, which is a natural diuretic. Support your kidneys also with nettle. But I'd take dandelion root and nettle, some natural diuretics that are going to help you during that process.
Can you recommend a good coffee brand? I'm worried about mold.
I think Bulletproof does a really good job, with their testing for mold and everything. I think they do a good job. I would encourage you to maybe look into that.
Are all of the Wellness Way offices the same? Do the doctors undergo the same training?
Yes. All the doctors are trained hard. And if you think I'm nice about training, man, I will never be confused about being a nice guy. Yeah, I won't even have nice guys around me, okay? Because nice guys, once again, they have no backbone. They have no, and I know some women that, women are not attracted to nice guys. They want them to pay for, they have great friend zone nice guys, but they're not attracted to nice guys. Kind men that can go out and are warriors every day. And so when it comes to the Wellness Way reputation, I am extremely hard on all my docs. Ask them. They would almost say I'm an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Because I will push them hard to be the best. Because if you got that Wellness Way symbol on your door, I'm expecting you to be clinically and business savvy to where you actually have a really good capitalism. You actually give a great service and you expect payment back. You actually are clinically ahead of everything that way. And so tomorrow I'm training both clinical and business for them. And so they're trained. Now, I've had to fire doctors. Heck, I let 2 of them go in last month and stuff like that. Actually, I shut down a clinic, because the doctor cared more about, money and pain in the butt than they did about patient care. And so I have no problem. Remember, if you ever want to ask a business question for me, email me, I'll tell you. I can honestly say I had another great successful year of 2024. I think over 90% of the things I own did really well. Did everything do really well? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that good and stuff like that to have 100% of things do well. It's just that when it comes to trainings, you know, I will train the doctors really hard. Some doctors are just lazy as shit, and they just think because they got a doctor, no matter what it is, that, and remember, and I'm even talking doctors that worked for me at one time and stuff. This is just me. It's just me. I can honestly tell you this, and I'll tell you this, and anybody that knows me knows this about me. I have yelled at the top of my lungs at doctors that were not prepared for when their patients came in for their test reads, for what they're going to do for their protocol and workup for them that way. Because how would you like it if your mom was sent in to one of the doctors and they're like, and they weren't prepared, and they didn't take it seriously and stuff. And this does happen. I won't lie to you. This does happen in all professions. Doesn't matter if you're a plumber, if you're a medical doctor, what is that way. And it's like, because I'm a capitalist. And like I say, it's my capitalist. I want to give you such great value, but if you don't prepare and do everything that way possible, why would you ever ask a person to exchange value with you and pay you when you're not even giving your heart and soul to every time they walk in that door? Sorry, I've screamed at the top of my lungs. I've screamed at the top of my lungs. I have, like I said, because I'm like, I remember a doctor out in Minnesota, and thank God Dr. Kate took over. What was that douchebag's name? I can't remember, Eric or something like that. See, I forget him because they're actually complete idiots. Is he would play games, found out he was playing games on his computer, and then patients would come in, and I was so embarrassed, I actually reimbursed patients back with my own personal money because I was actually embarrassed of the care that he was giving. And he's 50 years old. And think of it this way, if he's that way with his things, what is he like with his wife? What is he like his kids? You understand? It's like, and it didn't surprise me that he was a Joe Biden fan either. Okay, now that I found out later, you know, he did some posting and stuff like that. But here's what happens this. I'm like, I can't handle that. Oh man. If I wanted my mom or somebody, which I take care of my mom, but I mean somebody there, I'd want somebody that was prepared, intense, and awesome. So yes, are they all trained? Yes. Do they all pick up the train the same? No. I can tell you right now, I'm so proud of what the Wellness Way puts out there of all the offices. Will we have some douchebags in the future? Absolutely will. And I'll fire them so freaking fast, and I'll tell them they're a loser and they should just jump off a bridge and stuff like that. Because that's the way I train. To me, if you don't like the way I talk, don't watch me or don't work for me, because it fills my heart to tell you how much of a loser you are. Anyways, one more question. Oh, Chrissy, are you going live after this, or is it just me? Okay, one more.
How do you ensure cod liver oil isn't rancid upon purchase? Are there any brands that you recommend?
Yeah, it's just about have a good quality that way, and so you have to do your research. I kind of like Nordic Naturals. You can find other brands. Nordic Naturals is really easy to find, and they're one of the largest in the world, and I like them the way they do their stuff. I know the company extremely well. Otherwise, I wouldn't, sell it through the Wellness Way, but you can get that anywhere. So I've already taken my cod liver oil from Nordic Naturals today. So that being said, Christy, you're itching for a question you want me to do, or is we good to go?
No, we're good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for all the questions. We'll see you guys tomorrow.